In this video, we will be changing some posts and installing some corner boards. In the previous video, I had mentioned that our corners, we decided we were going to go on a 45 across instead of making them 90. So we needed to remove a couple posts, and then we were going to have to install them in a different spot. So here, just using the bobcat to pull out the posts. It came out pretty easy as it was kind of sandy land, so it was quite easy to pull out like that, but it was also worked in harder soils. In this location, along one of the ends, and we had to remove a couple posts because we originally had thought about putting a gate in there. As you can see on the ground, there's some orange marks. That's where the new location will be. But where we thought the gate was going to be, it kind of changed the spacing, so we had to make it work and fix it up. Next thing was to put the post hole auger on with a 9-inch bit. Plenty big enough for these posts. We originally pounded them in, but we're going to just drill these ones in. You can see here how we're going to cut across the corner. So we have to move those posts in from the outside there and put the new locations so they work out for the way we want it. So next I was going to just use a 2x6 to kind of make a straight line between posts so that we knew where to drill the hole, and then we're going to drill it. Okay, so to drill the hole, we just got the bit lined up where we wanted it, and drilled a little bit to make our starting point. Once we got the spot marked, just moved the board out of the way and continued to drill to about 3 feet deep. I'd kind of made a spray paint mark on the bit so as it was when I was in the bobcat, and kind of got it down far. Like I had said, it was pretty easy drilling in the sand there. But there's only a few to do, so nobody's getting both pounded for that. So got the hole completely cleaned up and ready to install a post. To install the post, we'd like to use 3/4 inch crushed rock. It seems to lock together and lock the post in good, and it has good drainage too. Get the water away from the post while it's in the ground. So we leveled up the post, got it where we want it, and put in some crushed rock, and then tamp it a bit and put in more crushed rock until it gets up to the top. This part wasn't quite as easy as drilling a hole because you had to do this by hand, but it wasn't too bad because I knew there was only a few to do. Using the crushed rock, it really does a good job, and it makes the post really solid, so I like using that. Once you got the gravel all tamped in, put a little dirt on top, slope it away, should be good to go. Get the water away from the post. Now for the corner boards, I don't have any footage of that because I'm not sure why. Number 1, number 2, number 3 on this picture here show the 3 boards. They were just installed under the other boards all the way up in the same fashion that we did the previous boards on the first video. Somewhere there'll be a link for that video in case you missed it. Installing the boards under the other ones kind of leaves a gap at the top, but we're going to fix that right away. Wanted to have a top board that lined up with the other 2 all the way around, so just put a board on top, kind of got the up and down dimension the same, marked our angles on each side so that we'd be able to cut it there on an angle so it eventually fits flush over top of those other 2 boards. Marked the length and got ready to cut it. Once we cut it on an angle, put it up on top there to test fit it, make sure it fit. It should fit right on there nice and flush and snug, and yeah, so that's what we wanted. Go for the look we wanted and the function. So it kind of blocks that corner up and makes it not look like it's too low. Fasten this board on with some GRK screws. This board is not really holding a lot of pressure if there's any animals there, I guess, and so it's just being held on, and the screws is all it takes. That once we got that end fastened, went down to the other end of the board, put a couple screws in there. I think I hit one of the lag screws holding on the other board, so it was a bit of a problem. Just had to move the screw up. Just put one screw in the center and good to go. Repeated for the other corner because there are 2 outside corners and then 2 inside corners, which we'll see in a minute. As I had mentioned before, there was 2 outside corners, 2 inside corners. The boards were put on the corner the same, but here, this is the inside corner, which was up against an existing corral. So we didn't want to keep the animals getting into that little triangle shape there, so we had to decide to put a couple boards across to block that. Cut our boards to length and fasten them onto the post with screws. Put a level on it to just make it level. Why not? It's a good idea. Look good. And use the GRK screws to fasten them in place too. For the second board up, we decided to space the same as the boards on the corral, about 13 inches. So measured, marked it, put it on there, leveled her up, done. These GRK screws go in really nice. They're fork head drive and they're made for construction, so they're really strong. For part 3 of this series, we will be hanging a gate that is on the south side of the arena and it goes out to the pasture, so that will be on the next video. Thank you for watching.